Levi's shirt. He's so cute. Hello everyone, welcome to today's video where I will be talking about Attack on Titan again much sooner than I thought I would, because I, along with many other people, cannot escape the gnarled grasp of Hajime Isayama and his creations. And yes, I am referring to the fan-made ending of Attack on Titan, AOTNR Requiem, which I'm gonna read in this video. And if you haven't heard of it, I will let you decide if that's a good thing or not. So I've been basically trying to ignore AOTNR Requiem ever since I heard that it was gonna be a thing, but with its release, I can't ignore it anymore because you guys keep talking about it. If you don't know, I'm one of the few people who actually enjoyed the ending of Attack on Titan. As I said in my analysis video, it wasn't perfect by any means, but I did think it was a fitting end for Attack on Titan. Even if I couldn't find any redeeming qualities of the actual ending, I would still be kind of iffy about the fan-made one. There's just something about random people who think they know the story and the characters better than the actual creator that just rubs me the wrong way. In any case, I'm gonna go into this with an open mind and see if my perspective changes by the end of it. So let's just get right into it. I have the chapter right here on my phone. It seems like they're changing the last 3 chapters, so this one is starting with chapter 137. Okay, so we're under a tree. The art style is very beautiful. I will give them that. I don't know if they're going for the exact style of Attack on Titan, but it's got the same feel with its own kind of touch, you know? Which is cool. So we've got baby Eren waking up. Ooh, big mean Eren. Long ago when our world was still young and all the manner of unknown things began to form. This is Zeke in Paths with Armin talking about the beginning of life. The original chapter 137 opens up with Zeke and Armin in Paths, so they did kind of keep some of the original stuff, like the hallucigenia thing, Ymir running. They're keeping some of the same shots. Yeah, they're basically saying the same thing that the original said, just like in their own words. Honestly, I find the original conversation with Zeke and Armin more interesting. The way his words seemed more realistic to how Zeke actually speaks rather than how this is. If she had just accepted her fate and freed herself from her suffering, as we all eventually do, perhaps all this could have been avoided. I don't really quite like that wording there. It kind of sounds victim blamey. If she's been a slave her whole life, how do you expect her to know how to free herself, you know? That doesn't make sense. AOTNR Requiem, Attack on Titan no Requiem. Godlike in power, but forever a slave. With this earth, she creates the monsters that destroy and perpetuate the cycle of suffering. Yeah, this is basically what the original says, just kind of presenting it on a silver platter that might be more easy for some people to swallow. Aw, young baby Eren's holding hands with big Eren. I do think it's really cute to see big Eren with little Eren, although we did already see Eren kind of go through paths in whatever chapter that was. So you've realized the conundrum. Very good. What are you talking about, Zeke? I don't like the wording of that either. Very good, little Armin. Little Armin, you young grasshopper, you. Again, I kind of like the conversation between Armin and Zeke before. Plus, they kind of miss out on the entire Armin is hope symbolism that happened in the original 137, which is really important to the story in my opinion, because Armin has always symbolized hope throughout the entire story of Attack on Titan. But anyways, was she incapable of separating her own desires from that of her abusers, or was there some hidden need to belong? Was that her meaning? If so, then her suffering truly was great. I do actually think that the original could have benefited from putting more context of Ymir into this part. Ymir wanted to be loved, she wanted to be accepted by King Fritz. That's why she still did everything that he wanted her to do. It was really, really toxic, and I think that people would have accepted it more if he had mentioned something like this in the original. In the end, Eren was able to understand when I couldn't. That's why she went with him. He offered her something no one else could give her, and that was freedom. I mean, the freedom thing is definitely implied in the original, but here it's just said for you, you know? This shot, this panel, very pretty. It is very pretty art indeed. And I do actually kind of like how they transitioned that. That's cool. Ooh, angry Eren. That gave me the chills. Okay, what's this hand thing that he's doing? He's not Gojo. He's not a magical sorcerer. Alright, put that hand down. That is cool though, to see all the memories flowing. It's a cool concept. This power has shown me the paths ahead, branches of things that have passed until that moment. Okay, I get it now because, okay, That makes sense. He's saying that he's gonna forget this until the moment he kisses Historia's hand, so that's pretty cool. It's basically like the talks with Armin and everyone else that Eren had in chapter 139, that he said that they were all gonna forget, but with his younger self. Okay, his eyes, evil. He's totally evil. To destroy this ongoing cycle of hatred and achieve true freedom, I am prepared to sacrifice the world. So, Armin, I will keep moving forward until all my enemies are destroyed. And that's the end. To be continued. All right, AOTNR Requiem. All right, Attack on Titan no Requiem. Let's see. Let's talk about you. What do you have for us? Okay, so Eren is definitely more of a blatant villain in this one. They kind of flattened him out as a character, in my opinion. In the original, he didn't really want to do any of this, but he had that drive for freedom to push him forward. It wasn't something that he could control, which was the whole tragedy of it. His motivations were multi-dimensional. It wasn't just to move forward until his enemies were destroyed, which was a big part of it, but a big part of it was also saving his friends and giving the freedom that he wanted so desperately to his friends, even though he knew that he wasn't going to achieve it. That's the whole tragedy of it. That's what I think made Eren such an interesting character. It was his duality between wanting to push forward for freedom for himself, even though he knew he was never going to achieve it. His nature has always been to fight for those weaker than him, even if it wasn't for himself. That's literally why he went and saved Mikasa when she was getting kidnapped. It wasn't for himself at all. I'll move forward until my enemies are destroyed. Those weren't his enemies, those were Mikasa's enemies, but he made them his enemies because he cares about people who can't fight. To me, it just kind of seems like they wanted their really cool, stone cold main character who has no feelings and simps for no one. But that's really not who Eren is at all. He's always been really emotional. The season 4 cool main character Eren was a facade. That was fake. That was his overwhelming depression seeping through. It's not a regression in character development for him to show his feelings, you know? In the actual 139 chapter, that's what was coming out. His true emotions that he's been suppressing for so long because he didn't want other people to have to feel the burden of what he was carrying. He was trying to push his loved ones away so that they wouldn't get caught in the crossfire, even though they did anyways, because it's fate and he can't control it. If I think of this as a separate entity of Attack on Titan, that's not like trying to be the ending, then it's really cool. You know, it got me feeling things, those mean Eren looks to his younger self and to Armin. It was definitely really well thought out, which is really cool for a fan project, especially to get this much traction and people who wanted to see it. So props to everyone who worked on it. You guys did a great job with what you were trying to do. Their website says that there will be at least 100 more pages. I don't know if I'm gonna read all 100 of those pages, and I definitely don't know if I'm gonna make videos about more of them, although I am kind of curious about what they'll do about all the Mikasa stuff in the last chapter. I'm not even a shipper, but I still think that there were signs throughout the whole story that showed that Eren had love for Mikasa. So I don't think it was out of the blue that it ended on love for her as well, you know? But I have a very strong feeling that this ending is gonna stray very, very far from that, so we'll see what they do. Or we won't. If this is your thing and it helps you move on from the original ending of Attack on Titan, then I'm happy for you. I feel like everybody should have good closure from the story that they loved. It's actually pretty cool that this became such a big thing with so many supporters. It kind of just goes to show you how intense the Attack on Titan fandom is. But as I said, I can't really find myself able to enjoy it. Isayama has spent a much longer amount of time thinking about and building these characters than any of us. They're his characters, so it's up to him to decide what is in character and what isn't. It's his story, and regardless of what you think, this is how he chose to end it. And as much as I loved Attack on Titan, it's over now, so it's time to let it rest. Keep making your art, keep writing your stories. I know I will, but there's no use in beating a dead horse. Harassing people online is not gonna make you like the ending more. But anyways, that's all for this video. I hope you liked it. If you made it this far, comment the strawberry emoji, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye! You know, technically, if you really want to get into it, this could be considered a canon ending because we already know that Eren can create a billion different timelines, like he did it with Mikasa, he did it with Armin, blah blah blah. All those paths, those were timelines, right? He's the multiverse. He's at the center of everything. he can do whatever he wants. He's Eren frickin' Yeager. Even like the school cast thing, that's a different timeline. The Lost Girls with Mikasa, when she didn't get kidnapped and her parents didn't die and stuff, and she was a nice, sweet girl. That's a different timeline. Who's to say this didn't really happen? Not me. Not me.